Hello, my name is Stanclaus Agacho. Welcome to Inuka Leadership Africa. For our subject today, I want us to talk about how you can succeed by standing out. Guys, one thing is certain, we are living in a world with 6 billion people. That is a very important metric never to forget. If you are to speak about your country alone, you are upwards of 50 million, 60 million, 70 million. I'm shooting from Nairobi. In Nairobi, we are a population of at least 55 million people, right? So what is the point? The point is that there is such a huge crowd. I don't know how many opportunities there exist, but one thing is certain, that there is a competition for opportunities. There is a competition for influence. There is a competition for making an impact. Leadership is really about influence, and you can never influence anybody if we can't see you. One of the things that are going to be very important for you early in your journey to success is how then do you craft a podium? Yes, how then do you craft a platform? How do you design a platform? How do you come into a platform where you are able to speak, and you speak so loudly that your voice is heard and we take notice of you? Notice, one of the things that a marketing person will tell you is that if you're going to do sales and marketing for your product, it is best if your targeted audience, if your targeted customer gets your message. If they don't get your message, then there's no point of marketing. If they don't get your message, they will never hear of you. How are you going to lead if we don't know about you? How are you going to, as it were, succeed in your field of influence if we don't hear about you? One of the matters that must be addressed today is the idea that standing out is prideful. It is not. If you are going to be successful in corporate, if you're going to make progress even as an entrepreneur, you have to learn the art of standing out. You can't be part of the crowd. There is one of the most successful books that has been written in sales and marketing is called The Purple Cow. And the argument there is, if you are driving by and you saw black and white cows or brown cows, there's nothing unusual about that. If anything, you'll just drive past through them. But if you're driving and you're going on a journey and on your left you saw a purple cow, chances are you will pull your car, stop, and actually go and check it out, because a purple cow is so strange. Nobody expects there to exist a purple cow. And it's the same as your story. There has to be a way for you to tactically enter your space of influence by standing out. I have 5 quick keys that can help you in standing out. The first one is that you have to be a master in your field. Anytime you command mastery, you command attention. You can never command attention if you are a novice in your field. There has to be mastery. What does it take for you to be so good in the things that you do that you actually stand out? People must come to a place where they say, you know what, if you're talking about branding, if you're talking about, financial modeling, this is the person to go to. All of a sudden, doors begin to open and people take recognition of you and you begin to enter success. The second key, and an equally important key that you have to think about and think about often, is attitude. Your attitude is the fragrance of your personality. How do we feel like when we are around you, when we are about you? What is it about you that makes it exciting to work with you? Do you have a can-do attitude? Do you have an attitude that seeks for solutions? Do you have an attitude that seeks, for ways to get the job done? Or do you have an attitude that sees only obstacles, sees only the negative side of things? You become a standing out person when you are able to be, when you are refreshing, as it were, to work with, when you are refreshing to be around. So remember, the first one was mastery. The second one was attitude. But mastery and attitude is not enough. The third is communication. Communication, we interact with the world. Very few people actually understand how important communication is. Imagine our point of interaction with our whole world, with our whole environment is communication. Take time to build your communication. Are you able to speak clearly? Are you able to, how's your diction? Are you able to address emails properly? Are you communicating well your brand? Are you communicating your value proposition clearly? Work on your communication. That begins to make you stand out. Realize that many of the CEOs you know, many of the so-called C-suite executives you know, are just good communicators. They're able to communicate the company vision. They're able to communicate to the stakeholders about the company processes. They're able to communicate up to the employees about the company expectation and so on. So good CEOs are always good communicators. So as you work on your attitude, work on your communication as well. Two more keys that I want you to consider in your path to standing out. And this is one, that the path to influence and the path to standing out is a long-term journey. It's not a short-term sprint. It is not something that you can do overnight, but it is a series of decisions, choices, and environments that are able to bring you to a place of standing out. So in thinking about mastery, in thinking about attitude building, in thinking about communication, the framework of these thoughts must be the long term. That it is not something that, it's not a 1 week sprint. It could be a 5-year view. It could be a 10-year view. How are you standing out over time? Very important. And fifth, and this is possibly one of the hacks of standing out, is identifying and working with those that have already succeeded in your field of standing out or in your field of influence. Identifying mentors, identifying industry champions, right? Begin to find these people, sit down, write a list, find these people, right? Associate with them if you have the privilege of doing so. Seek them out, ask them questions, get a sort of, discipleship of sorts. Begin to learn from them, and ultimately you're on your way to standing out. Now, here's a pro tip, that when an industry champion or somebody who's already standing out in your field of interest endorses you, now all of a sudden they have lent their credibility to you. And notice, they will easily and willingly lend their credibility to you as long as you are a master in your field. You have the right attitude, you have built your communication, you have that long-term view, and indeed this is an industry that interests you for long, and they will easily give you their endorsement. And that, my friends, brings you to a place of standing out effortlessly. Thank you very much. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go and win. Go and win sounds good. Go and win.